What's up, everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos, you will learn how to use technical analysis to forecast price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others, and also see where we are looking to buy and sell these crypto assets ourselves. So let's start off with Bitcoin on the monthly time frame here. Right now, you can see that we have 10 days and 20 hours left until this monthly candle closes. And right now we're just forming an inside bar because last month we had a pretty significant large bodied candle here with increasing bear volume. So this next month what we might see is decreasing bear volume as we only have 10 days left in the month and we're pretty significantly lower than the previous month's volume candle here. So that's notable. It doesn't necessarily mean that we will see a rise in price, but it does increase the probability of that being the case because we'll be seeing decreasing bear volume and potentially, depending on where the wick of this candle ends up, we'll end up with some lower wicks here of bulls buying the dip. So let's go to the weekly time frame and get a little bit more clear with what the price action is looking like. So really, if we think about this in the sense of the market cycles, we've really seen a significant bull run, and we were just making higher lows and higher highs until right here we made a lower low below this low. This is notable, and the reason this is notable is because we had been making higher lows and higher highs since we started this trend back here in September of 2020. So once we see this, this is where our opinion starts to potentially shift and say, okay, this is different than what we've seen. This was a good recovery by the bulls, but then we saw it trail off right here and we immediately dumped. And so once we see this quick dump that erased this move right here, now we're back in this range. So once we're back in this range, you can see that the price has bounced off of this because we had a lot of trading activity that occurred in this area. Right now, the bulls are pushing up off of the low of 29,100, and we're potentially seeing a lower high being set this week as the current price action is below, or the current price, rather, not price action, is below the open of this candle for the week, and it's looking like a bearish candlestick which closes in less than 20 hours. So if we look at the pivots indicator, right now we are operating below the R1. If we do end up continuing up over the next 19 hours and we push up and have a bullish candle close here up in the $40,000 plus range, then we could potentially see a move up to the R2 weekly pivot here, which is up at about 46,300. If the candle closes the way that it is, or somewhere like near its open at 38,000, or roughly 39,000 rather, then it's likely that our lower high has been set because we'll have a bearish candlestick here on the volume, and then we'll likely see some push down into this blue zone a second time. Now, if you're a bull, you want to see the bulls change the trend with a higher low and then higher high, but it's not a high probability that they'll be able to do that, considering that this level will already have been tested once. So every time the supported resistance level gets tested, it gets weaker, and so this is already one test of this level. So this is good. You know, levels like this are good for one test, and you can see, boom, we get the test. Here's the trade, the long on top of the body of the candle right here, and it was about a 15% appreciation from that point to here. So that's that trade. Now we have the next trade, which is the potential for a short off of a top fishing play, expecting a lower high to be set versus this high right here. So that's where you're going to go short on the lower time frames, anticipating a weekly high being set somewhere. So the weekly high may have already just been set at 41,322 on this exchange. So then we're looking for potentially a break below this zone, as we're now looking as we're now in a bear trend on lower time frames, and you can see that on a macro level, this is not looking good for the bulls. This is not, in no way does this look bullish in my opinion. Unless the bulls can form a higher low and then a higher high, this is going to continue to push down lower. And that's just the way that it is. And right now there's a bunch of stop losses below these two lows right here because they're very close to equal lows. So if we break below 29,100, liquidity is going to be massive. So that's something to watch, is those two lows around 29,000. Let's go to lower time frames and see what we're dealing with here. If we go to the daily, we can see a couple things. One, we can see this light blue level is starting to potentially hold up as support with declining bear volume. So yesterday we talked about the declining bear volume right here. We got a consecutive day with declining bear volume. So that's good news for the bulls. We could potentially see a bounce here. But now that we've closed 2 candlesticks below the gray zone again, now the gray zone is resistance. So, keep that in mind. That's the first major resistance zone on the daily time frame, and that starts at about 37,400 and goes up to about 39,800. Now remember, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only, is not intended as financial advice. If you'd like more in-depth beginner analysis, and if you'd like to get started actually trading and investing in different cryptocurrencies and generating consistent income doing that, I recommend, these videos are a good start, but I recommend the Beginner Technical Analysis course that we designed specifically for people like that are just getting started in the crypto economy, or people that have been in the crypto economy for some time but have not really looked into technical analysis or price analyzation. And so in this course, you can learn things like volume analysis, candlestick analysis, trend analysis, how to use technical indicators to your advantage, and tons more. So you can check that out. There's going to be a link for that in the description below. So I highly encourage you to check that out if you are someone that wants to get started laying down that foundation to start making an impact in the crypto economy for your financial future. So let's keep it going here with this analysis. When we're looking at this blue zone right here, if we do not hold this blue zone and we instead just keep going down and we go right through this zone without bouncing off of it once, and we close 2 candlesticks below it, this will be strong resistance for price. So those are the major zones to watch. This is the main support. This is the main resistance. Lower time frames, 8-hour time frame. Right now, we have a bear trend on the 8-hour time frame with a high, low, lower, high, lower, low. Very clear bear trend here. Now we need to see the bulls start to make a change here. But right now, when you're in a bear trend on the shorter time frames, you're in a bear trend on, well, the daily time frame, you're not in a bear trend. Technically, you're in a bull trend on the daily time frame because right here we made that bull trend. So we're getting mixed signals. On the lower time frames, we're getting a bear trend, and on the higher, the higher time frames like the daily, we're getting a bull trend. On the weekly time frame, we don't really like it. Using the way that I read candlesticks, this is not a bear trend. It's just the way that I read this is a low, and then there's a high right here, then a lower low. In the same candlestick, we break the high and low of this previous candlestick. So we have a low, high, lower low, higher high, lower low. So there's no established trend there. But if you read it in terms of the candle bodies, there's clearly a bear trend with a high, low, lower high, lower low. So if you're reading the candle bodies and not the wicks, then this is a bear trend. And there are a lot of people out there that do read it like that. So it's important to keep that in mind, that people are reading this as an established weekly bear trend at this moment. Anyways, back to the 8-hour time frame. We're on that bear trend. So let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame is looking kind of good for the bulls, as we see this increasing bull volume down here off of this low. We come up, we form a lower high, we come down, and now we're potentially forming a higher low with declining bear volume and then a doji candle and bull volume. So now this is good news for the bulls. We may see a push above the previous high from the 4-hour candle here at 35,798, and we'll see if the bulls can come up and form a higher low above this key high right here. The difficulty here is this pivot level, which is going to be the pesky resistance level for the bulls to try and break through, up at around 36,500. So those are the main levels to watch for Bitcoin right now. I hope this was helpful for you. If you liked this video, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content around crypto and blockchain technology. And if you haven't already, check out our global Leutheria Telegram channel. If you're involved in the crypto economy, this is a global community that can help you take full advantage of everything that the crypto economy has to offer. So we do live community chats each Sunday. We're actually going to do one tomorrow, so make sure that you join that if you'd like to discuss things like crypto investment principles, DeFi, staking, and other related concepts. And we also do a lot of different just regular community chatting on the community Telegram feed. And we also do events and things like that. So this is where you can meet and connect with people from around the world, learn from different people, grow and get closer to achieving your goals through a community learning experience instead of going at it alone. So check that out. There's a link in the description below, and we would love to have you in there with us. We've had a ton of new members join us recently that are fantastic people with great questions from around the world. So definitely give it a try, see if you like it. If you don't, you can always leave. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Until tomorrow, onward and upward. And don't forget, tomorrow's Father's Day. So for all you guys out there that are dads, happy Father's Day. And for those of you that aren't, make sure you tell your dad happy Father's Day. All right. See you guys tomorrow.